Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw, and I'm here at Travel Leaders Network in Orlando, the first live Travel Leaders Network meeting in 2 years, more than 2 years. And I'm here with a familiar face, if you're familiar with ASTA, Dave Hirschberger, who is the owner of Prestige Travel, and also he is the past chairman or chair of ASTA. So we thought we'd give him and talk to him a little bit, because there's another reason he's here, because he was an award winner here. And we're going to find out about his agency, how it survived through the pandemic, and what lies ahead. And you'll find out about this and more on Insider Travel Report. Dave, first of all, great to see you. We haven't seen each other since ASTA, which was another great live session. That was amazing, really.
It was like the first really big one that I'd been to. Right. So it was nice. But that, this one's a third bigger, so we're getting back into the swing of things.
I think so. Now, let's talk about your agency, during this period. When did you start it, and what does it really specialize in?
Well, I'm actually a second generation. My father started the company back in 1974, and back then, mostly vacation travel. So I've been in the business. Next year, it'll be 40 years. Can you believe
wow,
that?
that's yeah. Well,
I started when I was 7. Yeah,
well, I agree. I've been in it 30 years, and I started when I was 2. But that's the same thing.
Yeah, and so then we kind of evolved to mostly corporate, and then over the last 5 to 7 years, our mix is about 60% corporate or TMC type business, and the rest is regular agency, vacation type business.
No, that's great. We'll talk about that mix as it pertains to the pandemic in a second. But first of all, you just won this award, and it was really an award designed to recognize someone who really was resourceful during the pandemic. What were the things that you were being recognized for, and what did you do?
Well, the first thing was when it first hit, I knew that we were going to come out of this at some point. I didn't know when we were going to come out, so it was my objective to keep all my employees intact, or as many as I could. And so we needed to try to find another revenue stream. Mm-hmm. And so while we weren't successful, we worked on subcontracting our agents out to cruise lines, tour operators, somebody else in the industry that might need that type of work. Had a lot of interest in it. It never took off. And by the time we were starting to get some groundwork with that, we started needing our agents back.
You can't have them. I need them.
But it was, we just decided we're not going to sit back and let this happen to us. We've got to take steps to move forward and get through this.
Well, and obviously you did, because you're still here and you did a number of things. Now, obviously, as past chair of ASTA, ASTA helped you out a lot as well. Talk a little bit about what you took advantage of with ASTA.
I don't think we would be here today. We would not still be in business today if it weren't for what ASTA had accomplished. The ERTC credits, the PPPs, both 1 and 2, a number of things. Independent contractors should be all over ASTA right now, because they were able to get some of these benefits that
employment benefits they never got.
Benefits that never were there before. ASTA proved themselves over these last 18, 20 months, and if there's ever been a valuable organization to be part of, ASTA's the one right now.
And you were part of that very much. And we were talking earlier, you presided over one of these crisis periods in ASTA history, and you pushed the envelope and really helped create all these programs along with the ASTA staff.
Yeah, a lot of it's you prepare and you get good people to work for you, and then you let them do your job, and that's kind of how I took my position as the ASTA chair. We've got Zane Kirby in place, who's a tremendous leader, a tremendous organizer. Evan Peck, the whole staff at ASTA, they've got an incredible team there, and my job was just to help advise, right, and help direct them in things that we thought the agency community really needed. But Zane, for the last 5, 7, 8 years, has put together just this tremendous team, dedicated team, small but mighty. And we let them do their thing, and they did it.
And you're absolutely right, and they did it. They did it to great effect, and it's a lot of, they said that possibly 70% of the agency distribution system would have been out of business, but here we are, and because of the different programs that the Institute, and they're still going at it.
Still working at it, yeah. We're still trying to get that ERTC re-implemented for the fourth quarter. The SAVES program, we still got a dozen balls in the air right now.
Yeah, that's great. Now, personally and professionally, how did you get through the 20 months?
Oh, I told my staff every day, I said, we're a day closer to the end of this. I didn't say we're a year closer, but we are
And then the next day coming, you said we're a day closer.
We are one day closer to the end of this, and if we just keep working, keep doing our job, stay as positive as we can, we'll get through this. But you have to adapt. Our business is different. We've always been a pseudo-virtual agency, but we went completely virtual for several months. And so we had to kind of rebuild how we operated and do those kind of things. And like the ASTA staff, I've been fortunate. I've got a great staff that I've hired and kind of groomed over the last 10, 15 years. And they all were right in there with me and said, let's do this, let's get through this. We love this industry. We want to come out on the other side.
And it looks like you're doing it flying colors. Now let's talk a little bit about the future and what bookings are like today. You said you're 60% corporate. What's going on with the corporate bookings for you?
Well, corporate's really interesting. It's still over 50% of our revenue right now, but that's with a handful of accounts. We've got some accounts that are in the medical fields, working with COVID type things that have been busier than ever.
I'm sure they are, yeah.
Private nursing companies that are sending nurses all over the country and world for that standpoint. And so we've been fortunate with our business mix to keep some corporate travel going, but for the most part, corporate is down, it's flat. Certainly across the board, it's not at 50% of 19 numbers. A vacation on the other side is, we've had to adapt to that too, because there's a huge demand for travel advisors now.
Right.
People have never used a travel advisor, they don't know how we work, and so we have to be more selective. We got to take care of our existing customers, and we got to kind of weed out people that really aren't going to be worthwhile for us as customers. So you got to be strategic on how you go forward in this.
So you're actually hiring now? You're trying to get people on?
I am trying to hire right now. It's been challenging, yeah.
Well, you have to find the right people, as you said. So, but are you seeing cruises, resorts, tours coming back now?
Yeah, interesting enough, even as far back as 6 months ago, we were booking things into 2023, which in the past we never did anything like that, 2 years out. So river cruises, there's still a huge demand for that. And
they're coming back?
They're coming back. Cruising, thank God, finally we've gotten, made some headway there. Tours, all-inclusives in Mexico.
They were going for a while.
It's a lifeblood for us. That was one of the first ones to open up, and people feel more comfortable. It's easier to go there. And so that's been a strong point for us.
Yeah, so what do you think? Are we going to see back to 2019 levels, at least on the leisure side, by next year or not?
I think that's possible on the leisure/vacation side. I don't think we're going to be there yet on the corporate side yet. I think that's probably maybe the end of 2022. Certainly by 2023 we might be seeing that. But on the vacation side, I think we could absolutely be close to that.
Yeah. Well, what about the impact of things like Zoom that we're all doing? Is that going to affect corporate travel? Are the people going to start saying, well, maybe we don't have to send that guy on that trip?
I think absolutely the video conferencing, Zoom, Teams, those things, it's going to affect corporate travel. But what they're going to find, and they're finding this already, is if they're not calling on their customers, their competitors they're showing up. And there's everybody that's been on Zoom calls, we've all been on thousands of them. It's not the same as being in person. In 2020 we had our ASTA conference. It was all virtual. Mm-hmm. Great conference. We did a great job with what we could do. It's nothing like Chicago this year.
Absolutely.
You're meeting in person, you're having sidebar conversations, you're talking to people about all kinds of things. And so what percentage of corporate travel is gone forever? I don't know, probably part of it. But corporate travel is going to be back.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to the comeback because I think face-to-face still is the way to go for the most part. Now, I want to give you, as past chair of ASTA, what would you like to say to your fellow ASTA members, other travel advisors out there, about getting through this crisis and what lies ahead for travel agencies?
Right, well, the first thing I need to say is if you're not an ASTA member, you need to be. We support the entire industry, whether you're a member or not, and it's basically look at it as a tax that you pay for services that are incredible. So you need to join. We need to grow our numbers, which we've done a lot in the last quarter. So non-members, become a member. If you're a member, get involved on the chapter level. Go to Legislative Day. When they put out a request to reach out to your Congress people, do that. We had 30,000 individual requests last year. It makes a difference. It changes, It really makes a difference, and we need you to do that.
Absolutely, and so the word is join ASTA if you aren't already a member, and certainly you're going to get the help you need in during situations like this, which God forbid we aren't going to see for a few years, right?
Let's hope not. But our industry, I've been in it almost 40 years, and there is always something that's affecting our industry, and there's always political forces that want either a piece of our industry or want to regulate our industry in a way that's not beneficial for us. So you need to be part of the conversation. You need to let people know what you think. You've done legislative day, haven't you, James?
Yes, I have.
So you go, and a lot of these Congress people or their aides, they don't even know. They say, "I didn't even know travel agents still existed."
I was in a few of those meetings the last year when we did a live legislative day last year, just before all this hit, right?
Yeah, and so we need to get it out there. They don't know. They have no idea how we're paid. So a lot of these things with the ERTC, hey, we need some help still. Yeah, our business is coming back, but we've got 28 people booked on a river cruise for June of 2023. That's not doing me any good financially right now. So they need to know that. They need to know we still need work. We're not out of this situation yet. And so you have to have your voice be heard.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, great to see you here again after ASTA. This has been a great meeting, too. We're back to being live in person, but as you said, we're not completely out of the woods yet, but the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel is really close, I think, at this point, right?
That's right. The light at the end of the tunnel is no longer a train coming towards you. It's actually daylight, So.
And on that note, I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.